So the other day we got 250 units of this coffee machine. It's an espresso machine, DeLonghi, that we've had it a few times before. We've sold the same units on eBay and on Amazon. We've done well with them, but this time we got so many, 250, that we decided it would probably be a better idea just to do like a quick flip locally if we can. That's one of the cool things about like having a presence on social media, a big presence as a reseller, because we can put out feelers. I just put out a post on Instagram showing the units and saying, hey, if anybody's local and wants to come pick these up, they're really good sellers. If anybody's in the Tampa, Plant City, Lakeland area and you want a really good local wholesale deal, we just got in 250 of these espresso machines. They're all brand new, open box, so sealed units. So I put that post out, and same day I got a bunch of people interested. And all the units are now sold. So I sold them to 2 people. The first person is coming today to pick up 50 units, and the next person is going to be here on Tuesday to pick up the other 200 units. The person coming on Tuesday has already sent a PayPal payment over, so that one is complete. It's a completed transaction, and the person coming today will be paying for the rest. So yeah. It's a good deal for us and it's a good deal for them. So more about that wholesale deal in a second. I will get into it in more detail. We can talk about like how to find these type of deals as well a bit later in this video. But it's the next day actually, and I have some free time today, so I'm gonna go hit the thrift store and see if I can find anything. But I also just picked up a package, and that's our mailing address, so it doesn't matter if you see that or not. But this is an international package. Came from London, from the UK. So let's see what's in it. I've kind of tried to like stop doing these big unboxing videos because I do have I have this whole box to go through as well, but I don't want to do those like large unboxing videos if you guys aren't interested in them. But I do still want to show you when I get cool stuff in. So most of these are for, I think I bought most of these for myself. So let's see what we got. Shout out Fine Bone China, appreciate you. Here's the first piece. Wow, beautiful. Look at that stitching. Very nice. And this is the Beautiful Freaks one. And very nice cracking on that. Small hole, but it's a pretty crazy shirt. You guys know I like my Grateful Dead tees. XL, liquid blue. This is the Spring Tour shirt. Smells really good too. Got another Grateful Dead, I believe. This is the 25-year one, 1990 piece. Oh yeah, this one's super old. Look at this one. Old Genesis Raglan, American Tour, good shape too. And then last but not least, got the Gianni Versace Elton John. Very cool. It's on the Screen Stars tag too, old Screen Stars tag. Sweet, happy with that. Very cool. I'll probably keep maybe 1 or 2 pieces for myself and the rest will be sold on. So yeah, I'm gonna go hit the thrift store. I'm just gonna go to Goodwill, one thrift store. We'll see if there's anything cool in there. And yeah, and then we'll talk more about like wholesale and how we get these bigger wholesale deals done. And maybe we can also get into like why we decided to flip all of them fast like that for less profit than selling them individually, because we have sold that exact same unit individually as well throughout the year. So this time we decided to flip them all, so we'll get into that as well. But first, let's go to the thrift store. All right, Goodwill retail store on a Friday afternoon. I've got to say, this is an awesome gift. Shout out Tim Tillery, really appreciate it, man. He sent me 2 6-packs of local Austin, Texas beer, and he knows that I like stouts, so he sent me stouts. That's a cool gift, man. Really appreciate that. All got yours safe. Can't wait to crack into them. So the selection at the Goodwill today was not great, but that just goes to show you that's another reason why like you kind of have to, if you're going to be a reseller full-time, or if you're going to be a reseller to make a decent amount of money doing this, like you have to start making connections and start looking for places to source other than thrift stores, which is, you know, that's really what this video is about. It's not just about getting a whole bunch of coffee machines and selling them on. It's about trying to teach you guys how to kind of like change your mindset out of finding, you know, one thing at a thrift store one time and then flipping it online and trying to do it again the next day over and over. It's the quickest way to get burnt out as a reseller. It is fun. That's why I still love going to thrift stores, still love going to garage sales, because it's a lot of fun doing that. But at the end of the day, like, consistency is what pays the bills, and it's what gives you comfort in reselling. And it takes time, obviously, to develop those relationships. It takes time and money, because if we didn't have the capital to buy that many units at once, we would have never got the deal done in the first place. So we understand that too. Like, it does take time, it does take capital. You don't want to jump into wholesale if you're not ready. You know, there was a comment the other day on one of our YouTube videos saying, hey, can you put out some cheaper wholesale lots? I can only afford $100. And I understand the frustration right now, you know, not being able to find inventory. A lot of places are closed. But if your budget on wholesale is $100, it just means you're not ready to buy wholesale yet. It means you need to continue to focus on what you're doing. Buy something one at a time, flip it, stack your cash up until you're ready to purchase wholesale. You know, in my opinion, like, you shouldn't be even thinking about buying wholesale unless you have at least $1,000 in free capital to play with, to go and find deals and negotiate with. Because most of the time, a wholesaler's, you know, not even going to entertain you if you don't have the capital in place. Some other things to keep in mind, like, you definitely want to have a business. If you're going to start buying wholesale in a large way, you want to register a business, you want to have your resale certificate in your state, if that's something that you need to do. Sometimes it's good to have a website. It's good, again, to have a social media presence so people can see who you are and what you do. I think it's important to have a reputation as a good reseller. But anyway, I'm kind of like getting ahead of myself. I know you guys want to find out more about the wholesale deal with these coffee machines. So let's talk about that a little bit. I'm kind of preparing, this is all vintage t-shirts that I'm preparing for an Instagram live session that we're doing tonight. So we're gonna go live for like 2 hours and we auction off t-shirts. So I'm literally like just looking through these t-shirts and deciding how much we're going to be starting the auctions at and getting the measurements of everything. And you know, I just, when we do these auctions, I like to have like a wide variety of items to show people. So we try to have, you know, band tees, and this one's really cool. I've never seen this Disney Animal Kingdom t-shirt before. One of my favorites. Another one of my favorites. I'm not even a huge Kiss fan, but this shirt is so crazy. It's like a big comic book shirt. Reminds me of those Marvel like mega prints vintage t-shirts, but it's Kiss. And obviously you guys know I love the Grateful Dead stuff, so have to have a little bit of a good Grateful Dead selection for everybody. Anyway, we do this often. We'll go live on Instagram. We try to go live like once or twice a week. If not us, then Mike. And we auction off some of these t-shirts. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, definitely give us a follow. So yeah, the coffee machines. Okay, so this is a supplier that we worked with for a while. We stopped working with them because they weren't able to get the inventory, started working with them again. As you guys have seen over the past few months, 2020 has been weird. We weren't able to get the inventory, they weren't able to get the inventory. We kind of switched our focus to categories we could get wholesale in. So used shoes and vintage, right? So we started buying massive quantities of vintage t-shirts, not only because I love vintage, it's a really fun thing to do, but also out of necessity. You know, a lot of these vintage stores or retail stores were closed during the pandemic, and they were looking for an outlet to move inventory in bulk, and we were buying because we have the market to sell it on in bulk and then also sell it online. So it worked out for everybody. So the big thing here is when you're ready to start getting into wholesale, one of the best ways to start is literally just by reaching out to people who are already doing it. Obviously, we're not going to tell you our wholesale sources. That would be just really bad business. If we told 100,000 people to go to our wholesalers and try to buy from them, that would be bad business. But if you start following people and you start reaching out to people doing what you want to do, you can start picking up little tips and tricks. And that's actually one of the best ways that we've found people to buy stuff from. We have no problem buying from a middleman if we can make a decent amount of profit as well. So sometimes we'll just, you know, reach out to people, kind of form these relationships, find someone who's getting a bunch of used shoes in. Maybe there's someone who gets, you know, 50 Gaylord boxes full of used shoes, just random used shoes. Maybe it's at a rag house or something. There's a lot of those people on Instagram. There's a lot of those people getting pallets and stuff on YouTube. We get them sometimes too. But for us, because there's not a lot of us working, we want sorted inventory, right? So again, develop these relationships. We see, oh, this person's buying 50 to 100 Gaylord boxes at a time of shoes. We don't want to do that. We're not able to do that. But maybe if we paid them a premium, if we reached out and said, hey, could you sort these shoes for us? These are the brands that we're looking for. We'll pay you a premium for the shoes. You're gonna get more money than selling on the Gaylords for, 20, 30% profit. It'll take a little bit more work, but if you break them down and give us the brands that we like, we can give you more money, and we can also guarantee, that's another big thing, we can guarantee that we'll continually buy from you week after week. So like our main shoe supplier, where we get most of like our used good quality shoes from, that person we're sending anywhere between $2,000 to $4,000 a week to. And that person knows like we are a consistent source for purchasing these shoes. They're making good money, we're making good money, everybody wins. But again, going back to the capital thing, I understand that most of you guys aren't in that position, and we weren't in that position from the get-go. We had to do the same thing. We had to work our way up. We had to buy something for $5, sell it for $20, pocket the $10 and do it again, flip and flip and flip, and save our capital and get to the point where we started buying smaller wholesale deals. I think the first wholesale deal we ever bought was like $750. It wasn't very much, but it got us into the game, and we worked with that wholesaler as long as we could, and then we started working with bigger and bigger wholesalers. And that's the other thing too, is if you start getting into bulk buying and start working with wholesalers or liquidators, you really can't be lazy. You have to continually be developing these relationships and looking for more and more wholesale sources. Because even in our business, over the past 5 years, we've probably worked with 50 different wholesalers. And it's not because they're all going out of business, it's because they're also competing with one another. So, maybe they're working with the same manufacturers to get certain products, and maybe one person will have that lockdown on the brand this year, and then next year someone swoops in and, they get a better offer. That does happen. So keep that in mind too. You have to consistently be reaching out to people and developing these relationships. All right, so back to the coffee machines. I know that I kind of tend to ramble along sometimes, so bear with me there, guys. I apologize, but I am passionate about what I do, right? And sometimes I just I don't write anything down, so I'm just talking off the top of my head. So hopefully it makes sense, but if it doesn't make sense, I apologize, but it is what it is. So anyway, these coffee machines. So the 50 units we sold for $28 a piece, so $1,400 for 50 units. And then the 200 units we sold for $27 a piece, a little bit of a discount there, so $5,400. So $5,400 plus $1,400, $6,800 for 250 of those units. So we've actually sold the same machine ourselves on eBay and Amazon for anywhere between $55 to $70-ish, depending. So let's go with 60 bucks. 60 bucks, let's use eBay as an example. So $60 minus fees. Shipping on them has cost us around $12 through FedEx typically. So $40, and then minus cost of goods, let's go with the higher amount, $28. So each unit should gross profit on the higher amount. It should gross profit these people between $12 to $13 per unit, which is a really nice, healthy, almost 43% gross margin for them. So we made a little bit of money. They're gonna make good money as well. And that's another thing to keep in mind too, guys. When you start getting into wholesale, you have to change your mindset from paying $10 for something and selling it for $50 and quadrupling your money. That's just not the way that it works with wholesale. Most of the time, it's more like a 30% margin, a 40% margin, sometimes even a 20, 25% margin if it's the correct item. So these coffee makers, 43% is awesome in my opinion, because they're very fast sellers. We've sold them before ourselves. So on those 200 units that this person purchased, they're gonna make $2,500, $2,600 all said and done, which is great. Obviously they had to spend money to make money, but that's the way that it is in wholesale. And to answer the question of why didn't we just sell them ourselves, it's because we have other stuff going on, guys. Again, we're not a huge company. There's only a few of us working in the business. It's a lot of work to move that amount of units. It does take a lot of work, and it takes time. So it may take 2 to 3 months for all of those units to sell. They may sell faster. Coffee machines are selling really fast right now. But if it took 2 to 3 months, for us, it's better to make a smaller margin, lose out on the top tier amounts that we could get our capital back, and put it into more and more faster flips, if that makes sense. Anyway, there's a little bit about this wholesale deal. Hopefully this was an entertaining video. If you enjoyed it, guys, please hit the thumbs up button on the video. I appreciate it. I'm gonna start diving more into this side of our business because, again, I've talked about it before, but we're not just an eBay company. We're not just an Amazon company. We're a multifaceted organization at this point, right? So I want to start diving into what we're actually doing on a daily basis and how the business actually functions and makes money. I'll also continue to do videos for newbies, for people that are just getting into the business, because I don't want to forget about you guys as well. Know that we came from the exact same situation. We started by going to garage sales. We started with $200. So we're not going to forget our roots, pun intended, 100%. But I will still make videos for beginners as well. So subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Ralli Roots.